तो जहां लाकर मैंने छोड़ा था सबाजी फंसा के, आप फंसी वही हैं कि आगे बढ़ी हैं वहां से?
गुड इवनिंग सर।
बताएं।
सर आपके रहते हुए हमको दिक्कत हो सकता है।
लवली लवली। नाउ टेल मी, मेरे घर की दीवारें आपके घर की दीवारों से ज्यादा चौड़ी हैं।
माई हाउस वॉल इज
द वॉल्स ऑफ माई
द वॉल
हाउस।
इज वाइडर देन योर
योर के बाद
योर
तो कल क्या पढ़ाया हमने? नहीं हुआ। आपने अच्छी बात कही मेरे लिए खुश करने वाली, लेकिन देर इज नो इम्प्रूवमेंट, क्योंकि उस पर आप समय नहीं दी होंगी।
सर। नहीं सर, उस टाइम तो समझ में आ गया था, बट कल
समय नहीं दिया आपने, समय नहीं दिया उस पर।
कल
चार
शाम को
सेंटेंस।
हस्बैंड का थोड़ा माइनर एक्सीडेंट हो गया था
I
सर।
can understand. I can understand. There
और
are
पैर
always
जो है ना
reasons,
बहुत।
but remember, everything requires practice.
सर
Okay.
हिज लेग इज इंजर्ड, so I was
Oh my, that's a totally different story. Then, yeah, you had a legitimate reason not to practice. Hey, Nandini. So, मेरे घर की दीवारें आपके घर की दीवारों से ज्यादा चौड़ी हैं. The houses, the walls of my house.
the walls of my house is wider than your house.
That of yours.
Those, na walls, Sumit.
Your walls.
Sorry, sir.
Walls, the walls, not the wall, the walls. दीवारें,
No,
plural.
sir. I said that of yours. The last part only I said.
No, we can't use that. That's what my point is. Because
Uh,
I'm
the
saying the
walls
walls.
of my house
Yeah,
is wider than that of yours.
exactly. That is not the option here. Hey, you are also
Wider
struggling.
than yours.
Uh,
Those,
Wider than that of your house.
not
Is
that
not
of,
correct.
those of.
Okay. Now I
Okay,
got it.
okay.
Sorry,
What
sir.
a blunder. Everybody, I'm gonna close the class if the cameras are gonna be off like this. Everybody turn your camera on except those people who asked me for permission in private. Everybody else turn your camera on and keep your camera on. Otherwise, I will have to make some big decisions today. What will be those big decisions? Either closing the class or removing people from the class, one of the two things.
Sir, you mean is wider than those. So those means the walls.
Yeah, yesterday's
Is
video is available, Sava ma'am. You didn't practice, so you must. If you practiced and didn't understand, talk to me.
okay, sir.
Here, we are comparing the walls of my house and the walls of your house. So do not use the word, use the pronoun. Let's use the nouns. The walls of my house are thicker or wider than the walls of your house. Right, everybody? Musharraf Sahab, Tony Stark, Sunita, Sumit, Varun, Sanjeev,
Good
all of
evening, sir.
you. Good evening, Zafri. Zafri loves
Sir,
being
give me
on
10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay? Anybody else wants any extra time?
No, sir. I'm also ready now.
My
So,
camera is already turned on, sir.
yeah, but
You
it
can
goes off in
again repeat
between.
my name.
Okay. Sunita, Varun, Musharraf, and Tony Stark.
I said, sir, give me 10 minutes.
Sir, my network is not very good because I'm in my village house, so that's why I off my camera.
And when are you going to turn your camera on, Tony Stark?
When I install Wi-Fi here,
And when will that happen?
next day, properly. I think next day or day after tomorrow.
2 days. I'll have to wait for 2 days.
Uh, yes, sir, maybe.
What do you mean, maybe?
uh,
I
maybe,
don't see a
maybe.
problem why you can't turn it on now. You're trying to save your data?
No, sir, no, I'm trying to save my data. If I open my camera, then I suddenly kick out of the class.
Don't worry, it won't happen because I can see your internet is very stable right now. It won't happen. Don't worry, turn it on. Now,
I-
is it taking so long to turn it on, Tony Stark, Musharraf? Musharraf said 10 minutes,
No,
okay. And Sanjeev,
no, sir.
your camera is off again. You're playing with it.
He's looking
My
for a
camera
flat,
is
I think.
on, sir.
Sir, please, sir, give me some one more
Yeah.
day. Give me one more day. I will fix my network issue.
Yeah, welcome, Rosanna.
Hello, teacher.
Hi.
Hello, Vinay.
Hey. So, what are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about the text, that story, the thief, the French thief. Where- Who's talking? Where is this coming from? Sunita's.
Sunita, sir.
Hmm.
Good evening, sir.
Hey, Imrana, good evening. What page number? Yeah, I've got it. The burglar who fell asleep. Burglar. Thief is a common word. Burglars are a special kind of thieves. Thief is an umbrella word, okay? It captures lots of different kinds of thieves. Burglar is somebody who enters your house or your shop when there is nobody. They usually make a hole in the wall, and break into the buildings, forcefully enter, illegally enter. But they are not robbers. They are different from robbers. Burglars are different, okay? Robbers don't mind confrontation. Burglars avoid confrontation. It is the last option for them, okay? They try to just steal things when nobody's there. Okay, so burglars. The burglar who fell asleep. Let's see. Look at the pictures of the burglar. It is a true story. Write the story using the information for each picture. Use as many adverbs and adjectives as you can. Okay. So you guys have written the story in the group, guys? Have you put it in the group?
Yes.
I can see. I can see. Yeah. All right. The story, Rosanna writes, one warm and bright summer's evening last June, a French burglar broke into a luxurious house in the center of Paris. First, he went into the living room, which was full of amazing things in gold and silver, precious objects, including handlebars and Chinese vases. Candelabras. I do not know this word. I'll have to Google it. Candelabras. Uh-huh. Okay. Chandelier. Oh, no, no, not chandeliers. Okay, got it.
So can I leave for
You
5 minutes,
can
sir?
see at
Yep,
in
yep,
the
yep, yep.
yeah. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. You got it. Okay. The first known use of this word was in English was in 1776. Okay. Mm. Candelabra. Okay. Candle holders. Okay, when these things are hanging from the ceiling, we call them chandeliers. Okay. Candelabra. Candelabra.
Candelabra.
Okay. Okay, candelabra. The stress is on this one. I'd never heard this word before. Candelabra. Candelabra. Okay. And Chinese vases. He quickly and carefully put them into his large bag. Next, he went to the kitchen to look for silver plates and cutlery. He found some delicious and inviting cheese on the table. Also, 2 bottles of the fine champagne were near it. Okay. After also, there should be a comma. He was feeling hungry, so he ate a lot of cheese. Then he was feeling very thirsty. So he quickly drank the champagne in one gulp. After that, he went upstairs. But suddenly he felt very tired. He saw such a comfortable bed that he thought of resting a little. He thought of resting a little. He thought of resting a little. He fell asleep and slept soundly for many hours. Unfortunately, the next morning, he was woken up by some policemen who were around the bed and were making fun of him. Okay. Uh, the burglar who fell asleep, Arish wrote, one quiet and beautiful summer's evening last June, a French burglar broke into a good-looking house in the beautiful city called Paris. I don't know if we use good looking for house as an adjective, okay? Please understand, guys, use adjectives with nouns when you have seen those combinations, okay? Do not experiment. Have you ever seen a good looking house?
No, sir, I
All right.
just trying to add adjectives.
I understand. Have you ever heard good looking house? This combination. So be careful about it. When you put an adjective and a noun together, make sure you have heard it from that kind of combination. You have heard from a good source, okay? Next. In the beautiful city called Paris. Oh, come on, man. Everybody knows Paris. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? एक शहर जिसका नाम Paris था. What are you talking about? Who doesn't know the name of the city Paris in the world? Tell me. Huh?
Good evening,
Arish,
sir.
be practical, okay? Jishan, when you learn something, learn it the right way, Arish. If you leave holes like this, yes, it is a practical structure called something, but do we use it for a city as popular as Paris? Why would we need it? Who doesn't know the name of, the name of the city, Paris or New York or London? So I live in a city called London. What nonsense? You're talking to some aliens or what? Next. First, he quietly went to the living room, which had luxurious dish pots and plates and silver plates, silver plated glasses too. quietly he moved to another one again. Silver plated glasses. Okay. That's interesting. Normally the glasses are made of silver. Okay. But he's saying silver plated glasses. Next, he went to a big and beautiful kitchen. You experiment too much, Arish, when you write, And because of this experimentation, you kind of mess up the writing. Silver plated glasses, Arish. Where did you learn that? Next, he went to a big and beautiful kitchen where he
Sir,
saw
I was
some.
more and more adverbs.
Hi, Saab. More and more, I'll give you. Put in there jealous, angry, hurtful. These are also adjectives. Put them there. Come on. Put them there. Jealous, angry, happy, sad. Put them all there. Come on. Okay. And quietly he moved to another one. Again, unnecessary again. When he moved, again means doing something one more time. Okay, Arish? Again means doing something one more time. Say that again. Write it again. Visit me again. Ask again. Again means to do something one more time. I don't think you need the word again in that sentence. Next, he went to a big and beautiful kitchen where he saw some delicious cheese. Also, he got the most expensive 2 bottles of champagne, which he never tasted, which he had never tasted. Okay. He was really feeling hungry. So was feeling thirsty. This guy doesn't write. He creates problems for me. I will stop reading your text, Arish. Okay. You don't make mistakes. You force those mistakes. Okay. Mostly what happens with people, they make mistakes unintentionally. Okay, guys. Arish, where did you go? Yeah. People make mistakes unintentionally. You force them. You force those mistakes. You just want to make those mistakes. Because you say, let's write this way. Let's see what sir says. Let's write it this way. Let's see what sir says. This is how you think when you're writing. Okay. Why? You should practice what you have learned, Arish. Okay. Fine. And this is not the right way of thinking. Your attitude is not right when you're writing. Beta, why did I use the word so? I'll tell you. Just give me a second. Okay. Just give me a second. People, take a look here. Take a look at this. Sasha likes going to the cinema. So does Bill. Okay, this is where we learn this use of so to say the same things about another subject. I hate noise. Okay, so does my daughter. My daughter also hates noise. So what has changed from the first sentence? The subject. I hate noise. My daughter hates noise. Everything else remains the same. Okay? Hates noise, hates noise. Okay? I hate noise. My daughter hates noise. The subject changed. So when you are making the same statement about another subject, another person, then you use this, pattern. Sasha likes going to the cinema, and so does Bill. How big a deal is it, Arish, to understand how we use this word so? Ravi comes to class late, and so does XYZ. It means XYZ also comes to class late. Yeah, simple. So, but your sentence is about the same person. Two different things about the same person. He was really feeling hungry and so was feeling thirsty. In our sentence, we had two different subjects, the same statement about two different people. Here, one person and two different statements, and you're using so, Arish. So you learn it this way. You do not learn anything the right way, Arish. Everywhere you leave these loopholes in your understanding.
No, I have mistakes.
Now, I won't accept that it was a mistake. I will say that you force these mistakes. You experiment with your language. Don't experiment. Practice what you have learned.
I will rewrite it again, sir.
So he quickly had a great meal and one bottle of champagne. After that, he went upstairs and saw a comfortable bed. But suddenly he felt really tired and couldn't stop himself from having a sleep on it. And so he lay onto the comfortable bed and immediately went into a deep sleep. After a great sleep, okay. Here is the mistake. You have given a full stop here and a full stop after a sleep. Do you think it is a sentence after a great sleep?
No,
Did you want to write? I think you wanted to put a comma there, maybe. I don't know. What was your intention? What was going through your mind? This is why
sir,
schools do not encourage people to write their own answers, because there will be so many different kinds of mistakes and it will take a lot of time, uh, for those teachers to correct those mistakes. So they give you one standard answer, everybody memorizes and writes it. Of course, it is bad. This is the right thing to do. Arish beta, asleep is an adjective. Asleep is an adjective. Okay? Asleep is an adjective, everybody. My daughter is asleep. My daughter is asleep. It means she's sleeping. My daughter is awake. Okay? Awake and asleep are both adjectives. In conversation, in communicational English, in colloquial English, we use awake and asleep as adjectives. Okay? Like this. When I reached his home, he was asleep. When I knocked at his door, he was asleep. Very late, guys.
Sir, can we write he was found asleep? And when it is correct, then found is also a verb.
Can you repeat what you said, Sabaji?
Can we write he was found asleep?
In,
He was found asleep.
he was found asleep.
Yes. Is it correct?
One more time, please repeat.
He was found asleep.
Okay, sound word here works as an adverb. He was sound asleep means deep asleep, means gehri neend mein soya tha. All right. He was sound asleep. He was deep asleep. He was asleep. He was asleep. Asleep is an adjective. A word that describes an adjective is usually an adverb, right? So he was sound asleep. He was deep
Found?
asleep.
No, sir. Found asleep. Found. Found.
Okay. And you are saying whether found is an adjective, right?
No. Found is a verb.
It is a passive voice sentence. He was found asleep. Okay, वो सोता हुआ पाया गया. He was found asleep. Okay. Well, normally people use he was found sleeping on the floor. Okay, things like this. But yeah, asleep is also fine. Absolutely, grammatically, no problems there. But yeah, my sentence was, I don't understand how you related my sentence to your sentence. What was your question? Asleep is an adjective? Yes, asleep is an adjective. What did you want to know, Sabaji?
Sir, I want to know found is found is a verb, and sleep is also verb.
Sleep is not a verb here. Asleep is an adjective.
Okay, sir, found it. Got it.
No, you didn't understand. You just want to get out of it. Listen, Sabaji, don't try to get out of conversation. I've said this before. Weak character cannot get great results. Please understand. So when you are scared of having a discussion because you think now the teacher will get angry at me and don't want embarrassment, please do not think like this. Get into the discussion, try and understand, and believe in yourself that you will understand when the explanation is good enough. Okay? So please, do not just run away from a discussion midway
Sir, I was
because you're
thinking
getting
the
nervous.
found and asleep both are verb. I was thinking,
I have already told you, asleep is an adjective.
yes, sir. Now I
Asleep
got it.
is an adjective. He was
Asleep.
found dead. He was found dead. He was found. He was found dead.
Dead.
वो मरा हुआ पाया गया. Okay. He was found dead. He was found lying on the floor. Okay. Yeah. So things like this. So here found is the passive form of the verb. He was found, be verb, be found. We will talk about it later. He was found. Okay. And then you need an adjective. Okay.
Sir, I want to know asleep. What is the difference between asleep and sleep? Sleep means
Asleep
sona,
and
asleep, sleep.
that's easy, Sabaji. I said, my daughter is asleep. What does it mean? My daughter is sleeping. My daughter is asleep means she's sleeping.
Yes,
Mm,
sleeping.
The baby is asleep. Don't speak loudly. The baby is asleep. Now tell me, the baby is asleep. What does it mean, Sabaji? If I don't want to use the word asleep, what will I say?
Baby is sleeping.
The baby is sleeping. I hope you understood the difference between asleep and sleep.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you asleep or awake, Sabaji? Okay. You are obviously awake,
Obviously.
right? You are awake. Awake is also an adjective, okay? You are awake. You are awake. महसूस करिए ना, आपके बारे में कोई जानकारी एक्स्ट्रा मिली ना? You are rich. You are poor. You are beautiful. You are educated. You are asleep. So this word gives information about you. So any word that describes a noun or pronoun is an adjective. So asleep is an adjective. The only thing that you should remember is do not use the word asleep before a noun. For example, सोते हुए बच्चे, ठीक है? Don't say asleep children because लगेगा ठीक है adjective है asleep तो लगा दो बच्चों के पहले asleep children. No, you cannot say that. You can say sleeping children, but not asleep children. Okay. After a great sleep, finally he woke up the next morning. Unfortunately, the next morning, he got caught by the police while he was sleeping. So, fine. Your two lines are a little funny. He got caught by the police while he was sleeping. Next line, and before you write, he woke up the next morning. Okay, fine. You can read what Rosanna wrote, okay, and understand. He was woken up by some policemen who were around the bed and were making fun of him. And I'm pretty sure some other people will also write in a better way. One silent summer's evening last June, a French burglar broke into a rich person's house in a countryside of Paris. First, he went to the living room, which he had heard uh, that it was full of expensive arts and
And
quietly
then, and then,
and then quietly he put almost everything in his bag जो उसके हाथ आया. सुमित बाबू, ये हिंदी की इंग्लिश करना बंद करिए और अच्छे से समझिया करिए, ठीक है?
sir, I have corrected it 3 times, but still I am not getting it to write the way I want to say. And I think I know I should
Okay,
I should
listen,
not exaggerate.
listen. There is an expression in English, lay your hands on. Okay, lay your hands on. L-A-Y, lay your hands on. Okay. तो यहाँ पर बोलेंगे he put almost everything that he laid his hands on in his bag. He put almost everything that he laid his hands on. जो जो उसके हाथ लगा, उसने सब, okay, डाल लिया, okay?
Yes.
और हाँ, फिर से सुमित, लर्निंग के समय सीखना सीखना लिखते और बोलते समय नहीं होता. ओके हम लोग अक्सर ऐसा करते हैं that when we are writing then we create new phrases. Okay, हम phrases create करते नहीं हैं, वो हमारे दिमाग में रहते हैं सुनने और लिख पढ़ने की वजह से. ओके तो उन्हीं को यूज करते हैं. अंडरस्टैंड. और ये जो फ्रेज हमने अभी बताया, of course you had not heard, so you could have found another way. Don't experiment, Sumit. Okay, write in a simpler manner so that you can avoid making mistakes. Hindi is your mother tongue,
Sir,
Sumit. Let me finish my statement and please pay attention to what I'm saying, how logical this is. In Hindi is your mother tongue. You have grown up in a Hindi environment.
my internet has
So
gone.
you cannot touch the level of Hindi in English.
Sir,
The
can you hear me? Please.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
I cannot hear you, sir. But now, just 1 minute.
Okay, everybody, can you hear me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So what happened? What happened? Sumit, can you hear
Yeah,
me now?
now, sir,
Yeah.
I am here. I can hear you
All
now.
right.
My internet is
Okay.
stuck for
I was
few
just
seconds.
saying, beta, a lot of people think that they can translate their mother tongue into English. Okay. My simple logical explanation is if you are 20 years of age, you have been listening to Hindi and living in a Hindi speaking environment for 20 long years. So your level in your mother tongue is native like this is the highest level possible. Now, if you want to achieve that level in English or in a target language, you'll have to spend the same amount of time almost, right? To be a native like. If not the same, at least half the amount. But you guys try to translate and you think somehow that you will write good English by doing so. You are only going to land yourself in bigger problems when you try to translate your Hindi into English. Instead, know what the expressions that you know, the English expressions, the vocabulary, the structures, and try to manage with what you have. A singer who sings staying within his limits sounds, rhythmic and sweet and beautiful. But when they go out of their range, then they sound, they go out of rhythm. Okay, they don't sound very nice. So
Sir, the same
similarly,
thing I was saying that the whatever
why
you
did you
said,
have to
sir,
do this? Why did you have to do this? You have read a lot
yeah.
of English. Why don't you try and write things that way, the way you have read in English? Why did you have to write it in a Hindi way?
Yes, this is the same thing I was saying, sir. That all the thing that you said to Ari sir, it was feeling like the lecture was for me because writing a story, I almost every time I try to new things so that I thinking that I will learn new things. Means experiment. I always experiment new things so that you correct me and some days it get better by
No,
slow by
no, no, no.
slow.
That's
That
like
was what.
putting me in a really hot spot, and in spot of bother. Uh,
Yeah, I
correcting
have
is
understood
my
now,
correction will
sir,
not
what I
help
have
you.
to do.
You have to read more, learn more phrases. My correction, you listen. You can write in a way that is almost impossible to correct. It is also possible if somebody who speaks in African language, okay, and translates his African language into English, that writing will be almost impossible to correct. I have taught students from other countries as well whose mother tongue was different from my mother tongue. And the kind of mistakes I saw, like, what the hell? What kind of correction do I make? Why did they put these words together? How does it make sense? It made sense in their mother tongue. That's why they put them together. So the best thing is to do what is possible in English and learn and use the phrases in English rather than translating any language into English. It's not going to help.
Yes,
Languages are not
I
identical.
have understood it.
Mm.
What I have to do.
This kind of English is often available in children's magazines, cheap magazines, I will say. They do not have very good editors, editors with sound knowledge of English. So you'll find, and this has a special name, Sumit, actually. This is called Indian English. Okay. People who do not care about the English rules, English phrases, they are Indians and they speak English. So they kind of take care of grammar rules of English to a certain extent. Okay. And they translate Hindi words into English. Indian English. Very commonly, I see it in small stories and magazines, exactly the way Hindi is spoken, things are written. But okay, if I had to say this, which came to his hands, everything in his bag, which came to his hands. If you had to write this, okay, then you had to change the order. He put almost everything that came to his hands in his bag. Look, if I have to write this, okay, he put almost everything that came to his hands in his bag. Remember, after everything, we use that, not which.
Okay.
After everything, we use
That.
that, not which. It's a lesson for everybody who's preparing for general competitions. After everything, we use
Sir, if you
that.
remove the almost, then is it correct that everything he let me see this. Yeah. He put everything in his bag.
No, he put
It looks
everything that
incorrect,
came
no?
to his hands in his bag. The word order should be this way, because this relative pronoun, which refers to everything, so keep them together. The pronoun
Okay.
and its antecedent should be put together. Everything that came to his hands should be together. Everything that came to his hands. Next, he stepped into the big kitchen to get the expensive utensils. But there he saw some cheese. Also, when he went near the dining table, he saw 2 bottles of champagne. Poor he, poor him, poor he, no, poor him. Poor him, okay?
For him,
An
yes.
exclamation mark. He was feeling hungry, so he started eating everything. So the placing of poor him doesn't make sense. Poor him is used to show sympathy, but there is no reason for you to show sympathy. Something good has happened with him. He found
No,
about 2 bottles of champagne, so no need to use poor him here. Poor him shows sympathy. Please understand. Your mind is still working in Hindi. Okay? Whenever you have seen poor him, it is used to show sympathy. When do you show sympathy to someone? When they are in some sort of
when
trouble, when they have
something
made
bad
some
happens.
mistake, okay? Something bad is going to happen to them. So, but here he saw 2 bottles of champagne and he was feeling hungry. It's great. He was feeling hungry and thirsty and he found food and drink. So why would you say poor him in this situation? Yes, I know you could say poor him later when he got in trouble, okay?
Yes.
I hope my detailed feedback is not going waste. Everybody is taking note of what
Not
I'm
for me,
saying,
sir. Yes.
guys. Yeah,
Yes.
everything. It was so he started eating everything there. Now he was feeling very thirsty. So he quickly took the champagne and found his costly champagne so tasty that he couldn't stop himself. Ask Rusana how she would be feeling, reading some of your sentences, guys, because her mother tongue is not Hindi, na? So many of your sentences will like, why this way? I've never read in this kind of English. So, and if you guys read what she has written, then you will feel like it is a simple kind of English that you normally read. There is a reason. Italian is closer to English than Hindi is. In English and Italian have more similarities than Hindi and English. Please understand. That's why. But still, I want you guys to understand that English is spoken differently and try and stay with English. I know it takes a lot of time, but to get there faster, you guys just need to do more reading, more listening, more observations. And another thing is, do not experiment so much. Okay, write what is necessary. He quickly took the champagne and he found you won't believe it. You remember Vishnu and Pankuri in the intermediate class, Sumit?
Yeah, I do.
So Vishnu had to do an exam recently, and he was just spending some time with me. I was spending time with him, helping him with his English. He was writing essays, and he was also experimenting a lot. Okay. Again, when you do not know the rules of English, okay, grammar, you're not familiar with the language so much, okay, then what happens? You are unaware of the things you're doing. You do not know how you're wrong. And that's why you don't realize why would it be wrong. And I remember, I can relate to this feeling. When I was young, I used to think, what is wrong with my sentence? What is wrong with my sentence? Sometimes students don't argue with the teacher just because they respect the teacher. Otherwise, in their minds, they don't accept that their sentence is wrong. Because, it sounds good to them, according to Hindi, and they just do not know what English is, what English can allow or what English will not allow, you see? So, I means I was there.
That's
There
not
was a time.
with me, sir.
Yeah,
That's not with
yeah.
me, sir. I accept very
No,
in
Sumit,
less
it's not
time.
your fault. It's not your fault. It's not a mistake. It's human nature, not, unless you realize, okay, look, if somebody says 2 and 2 is 5, and you have written 4, then why would you accept that person? Okay, because you think you're right. You have been taught this, right? So sometimes students feel very sure of what they have written, that it is correct, because it makes sense to them. And when their teacher tells them it is wrong, sometimes they just accept it as respect for the teacher. That, okay, if you're saying so, but inside they find it difficult to understand why it is wrong. They don't
I got
understand the logic of
what
it.
you yeah.
Somebody is asking me if we can say we are 4 siblings. It is totally understandable. It is totally understandable, Rukaya. It is totally understandable. Okay. We are 4 siblings. It is understandable. We are 4 siblings.
Sir,
Okay.
what
We are.
if we ourselves don't know that we are experimenting or not? You have told that here in this story you are experimenting, but if I try to write another story and
Hmm.
I write some English sentences, then how will I know that I am
No,
experimenting?
Sumit. Here, very good question. Very, very valid question. As long as you are making a sincere effort to just express yourself without being very impressive, okay? Then you are just showing your level, and there is nothing wrong. If you make mistakes, the teacher will correct you. But sometimes what happens, in an attempt to be very impressive, we mess up. And that's something that I ask people to avoid doing. Okay. You
I
want
was
to
doing it, yeah,
express eh,
intentionally.
instead of making a good impression. The day before the exam, Vishnu said, "Sir, my aim is just to go there and write the simplest form of English I can write." I said, "Yes, that should be your aim. And then you will avoid mistakes." Remember, if you have written very simple form of English, it's okay if it is errorless, no error. But if you have written very hi-fi English, but you have put in many mistakes there, okay, then that will put a bad impression on the person checking your copy, marking your copy. Hmm. Okay, so let's see. That question was valid. How will you know? So when you do not know, you are not making a experimenting. As simple as that. Experimenting is when you think that let's see, let's write it this way. Although you have something else in your mind, which you might have heard, which you might have read, which you might have been taught, and still you are going with something else. Let's see. That is called experimenting. Otherwise, you're just writing what you can write, isn't it? Yeah. Hmm. You would have sat on it, no? Okay. Mm,
Sir, can you
yeah.
also check the earlier message that I have sent? I just want to know, in that also I have experimented, but I
Uh,
want to know if
come
that
here.
is uh,
Bring
that
some
has
plates and glasses and
successful or
bowls.
not.
Don't here. Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. You. Did you understand? What did I say? And bowls. Okay. And onions. Do you know onions? Do you know what onions are? Onions means? Very good. And a knife. Knife means? Knife, knife. The knife. The knife. Okay. Yes. Okay. He quickly took the champagne, found his custard so tasty that he couldn't stop himself. To stop. He couldn't stop himself to stop. What a sentence of it. He couldn't stop himself to stop after one or two sips. एक दो सिप के बाद रोक नहीं पाया अपने आप को. So he couldn't stop after one or two sips, right?
Yes, sir.
He literally finished both the bottles. After that, he was not feeling like doing anything, but he had to. So again, you have put a full stop and a capital letter. I'm all confused here. So, okay, everybody, please, when you have written something, I really, really urge you, okay, request you, insist, read your text and at least correct those mistakes that you know that they are wrong, okay? Like, for example, can you accept this? Does your mind take it that it's okay?
Sir, I have literally corrected 4 or 5 times,
Oh,
and it
really?
was
Okay,
right
take a look at
incorrect.
this. Take a look at this
And
part. Take a
yeah,
look at this part.
I don't
After that,
know
he was
how
not
it
feeling like
happened.
doing anything, but he had to.
Yeah, there is
So,
full stop.
but do you need this full stop? So you want to continue. So after that, he went
No, sir.
upstairs. So please,
I will take care for
it
more.
is just, I think it is by mistake there. I mean, I don't think you intentionally put it there, did you?
No, sir, and of course not.
I think it was a typo kind of thing. That's what I'm saying. It is not a mistake. It is just a typo, I think. Hello? What did he say? And a knife? No, just send the onion. We will cut it. No problems. Okay. Suddenly he became so sleepy and fell
Felt
on the owner's bed because he was really tired. अब यहाँ डाल दिया तुमने owner's bed, मालिक के बिस्तर पे, जैसे उसका वो नौकर था वो.
the house owner.
So you could have put the word house, that I would have taken
Yes,
it
sir.
differently.
Yes, sir.
While he was asleep and dreaming about his rich lifestyle, the neighbor woke up and became suspicious of the house. Unfortunately, the next morning, the neighbors heard the snores coming from the house. What? Goodness me, that must have been some snore, huh? Which was going to the next house in the neighborhood. Okay, they got very suspicious now because they knew the owner was not home. So they first called the owner, and then the owner immediately called the police. And the police thief was still sleeping until the police arrived in the bedroom and woke him up to arrest him.
Woke.
Okay. Yes. One warm summer's evening last June, French burglar broke into a beautiful house in the center of Paris. First, he went to the living room and he quietly packed all expensive things in a bag. Next, he went to the kitchen and saw many food items like cheese, cake, toast, and also 2 bottles of champagne. And then after, what is this then after, Tani? What is then after? I've never heard this phrase. I've never used this phrase. Where did you hear this? Then after. I have
उसके
used
बाद
so many, Tani, I've used so many words and phrases to talk about order. Next, after that,
Okay.
following that. I never used after, then after. Where did you learn this? Never use this again.
Okay, sir.
Then alone is enough. Then he was feeling hungry, so he ate. When he was feeling very thirsty, why would you use the word so? When he was feeling very thirsty, so he quickly. What is the use of so, Tani? You know the word so. So talks about the result. You are using the conjunction when, and then you are putting the word so. How does it make sense? When I was a child, so I slept with my mom. What does that mean? When I was a child, I slept with my mom. I was a child, so I slept with my mom. But how do you keep them both in a sentence and convince yourself that it is okay? When I was a child, I slept with my mom. I was a child, so I slept with my mom. I'm giving this as a reason. Okay. I was a child, so I slept with. Now you're just writing them both. When and so.
Okay, sir. I remove so.
You did, but Tani, come on. You mean I should be okay now that you have removed it, okay? Wow. All right. After that, he went to the upstairs. Okay, Tani, I've never said went to the upstairs. Went upstairs, went
Okay.
downstairs, okay? But suddenly he felt tired. Okay, sir. Her reaction is also funny. She's saying, okay, sir. As if you never heard it before. At least give the right reaction. Okay, sir, for something that you have heard so many times and you did not follow it right. And after one more time, I corrected. Okay, sir.
I corrected it, sir. I will correct all.
You should be saying, I'll listen more carefully next time, the phrases and everything there.
Okay, sir.
2 more onions. But suddenly he felt tired and sleepy. He slept on the comfortable bed. He fell asleep. What? Okay, okay, I understand what you mean. Beta, when you say he slept on the comfortable bed, it automatically meant the same. He slept on the comfortable bed means he slept. Otherwise, you should have used the word lie down. He lay down on the comfortable bed and he fell asleep. When you use the verb slept, then next line he fell asleep didn't make sense, Beta, okay? Because you already said he slept. But if you say he lay down on the comfortable bed and he fell asleep, okay, fine. Unfortunately, the next morning he woke up and found 3 policemen were standing around him. Okay. Look, you have written short and sweet, I will say. You have made less confusions. Sometimes this is what I'm saying, asking people to do. Keep listening. You see, some people like Sumit, like Arish, you know what they are capable of? They're capable of writing 10 pages. But then the more they will write, the more mess they will create, you know, because they will write Hindi into English. They're clever people. So they know how to put words together, okay, somehow, but they will not be able to follow English so well. So please understand your limitations, guys. You're not writing in Hindi, you're writing in English. And again, while you're reading in English, you should be observing more, okay?
Sir,
Oh,
please take another text of mine and
I
review it.
will.
So, I just want to reach that level of English where I can use very less words, very few words, and explain my thoughts. And that's why I kept
I know what you mean.
I thought to experiment, but I know now what I have to do. I should.
Some people just can't accept their flaws, the truth, the truth, their flaws, the truth. Okay. They always want everyone to believe and accept what they believe, and extreme love is the cause, I guess. When someone is watered with, why did you say watered with? Why did you use watered with? Where did you see it?
To
This is what I call
I think
experimenting.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have seen. I don't know. Remember, sir, where I was.
Never. Water means to, okay. Here you want to say showered with. When someone is Showered with
Yeah,
so much of
showered
love.
with.
Okay. Got it?
Yes, sir.
People shower their love. People shower their love. Okay. Okay. When someone is showered with so much of love, their whole life, not his whole life. When you use someone, then don't use his, use their.
Oh,
Okay, I'll get it. All right. Yep, sure. And
Sir, you know,
become rigid
sir,
to the thought that they are special and stick to it until they are slapped hard with the reality. Another thing that came across my mind through this story is that when you have to convince a lie or something which is not true or something which is not pleasant to someone, then expressing it in a way such that, yeah, it's okay, keep learning. We are at the pre-intermediate levels, of course, like I said, sometimes, I just don't feel like I have to make corrections. Improvement is rather better word rather than correction. You understand what I mean?
yeah, yes, sir.
When you
Getting
need
what
to
you
change the wording, when you need to rearrange the sentence and all these things, it's not called correction, it's called improvement. There is a difference. There is a grammatical error, I can make a correction. It's easier to do. But improvement, like I said, sometimes I've read text from students.
it will
I
come
just,
with time.
yes, automatically, okay? Yeah, in the story, guys, the woman refused to take the portrait and pay the portrait artist, although the portrait looked exactly like her. Why?
everyone want to look young and beautiful.
So
So,
everyone wants to look young. Yes, what's wrong with that? I want to look young too. I'm pretty sure you want to look young too. Rasana, you want to look young too, don't you? Everybody wants to look young. Youth is that kind of thing, of course. Nothing wrong with that desire. But
I was saying
They
about
want other to feel the same way. That
that's the whole point. We want to look young so that other people think we are young. What's wrong with that? That's a natural
the
human
painter
desire to
painted you in the
try and
old
hold on
style.
to
So
their youth.
yeah,
What's wrong with that? Why did she refuse to accept the portrait that was exactly like her? The portrait looked exactly like her. After all, it was painted by the best portrait artist in the world. Why did she refuse to accept it? And why did she accept the portrait which didn't look like her at all? And she paid generously more than what was agreed upon, what was decided. Yeah. Okay, just 2 minutes. Guys, have you noticed nowadays people use filters when they take selfies and they totally transform their face? Like in India, we have this obsession with fair skin. So you see lots of dusky look skin, boys and girls. They just use this filter and try and look absolutely fair. Don't say that. Boys and girls both do it. Okay, boys and girls both do it, and I've seen.
No, sir, both of no.
Yeah, both do it. Okay, and they see that they don't look like that. What's going on? It's called, I will say.
But sir, girls need more.
Okay, it's not about boys versus girls. You guys derail the topic, by making these comments. Okay, this is not the point. Think about the psychology. When you know what you look like, you look into the mirror every day, and then you look at that photo that you post on your Facebook, and you look nothing like that, but still you post that. Why? What makes you? Why don't you realize that that photo looks nothing like you? And you are ready to show the whole world that this is you, but it is not you. If somebody looks at that photo for the first time, someone who has never met you and comes to see you, will say, no, you're not that person. They will not believe that. Why do people do it? Think about it. Huh? No, we all have that tendency. This story highlights something very common about human nature, about human psychology. A lot of us have a perception of us. Knowing very well what the reality is, somehow subconsciously we kind of put it behind us and we start believing something that is not true about us. We live in a make-believe world. The auntie was angry when she saw that photo that where she looked old, okay? And she refused to pay because she lived in that make-believe world where she thought she was beautiful. She let herself believe that she was beautiful and young. So a lot of us are actually cut off from the reality about ourselves, whether it is a deliberate action or it is something you do as a defense mechanism, I don't know. But we all do it. And it is really necessary to come to terms with our real self, who we are, accept. I will not say embrace, accept yourself the way you are and try and improve your mistakes. For that, you have to accept the flaws in you as well. You are old, you have to know you are old. But a lot of us are nowadays like living in a world where we are just not in touch with the reality about ourselves. We somehow, sometimes it happens because of the comments people make about you. For example, there is a guy, ordinary looking guy, and for some reason, because he's very rich or something, people around him start saying to him, oh, you're very good looking or very handsome. Now, if that guy is sensible, okay, if he's grounded, he will know that these people are just flattering him because they want to get something from him. If he's not so grounded, if he's not so mature, then he will start believing that he's actually very good looking. And if someday somebody tells him that you are not good looking, he will be angry with that person. He will say, you're jealous of me because the whole world says I'm handsome. Isn't it? I will say that I have lived this very closely. I have experienced this in my own life, I would say, and perhaps that's the reason why I asked you to understand. I was also stupid. I also believed a lot of things
That
about myself which were
that's
not
why,
true.
sir. That's why, sir. Some people thought I am a good looking, and they are make our face look like an animal.
Yeah. All right. So fine. I'm wrapping up early today. And guys, on Wednesday, our class will last until 8 only. Okay. Every Wednesday, we will have our class until 8. We will end it at
Is
8
it
o'clock.
special today?
Today is Tuesday and today is a special day. We are having some fun party here. Okay. So, yeah. But every Wednesday, our class will end at 8 o'clock, guys. Remember that. Okay. Because I have to teach another class 8 to 10 for 2 hours. 8:30 to 10:30 will be too late. So I'm taking half an hour from your class, okay? Only on Wednesday. All right. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, 7, and we'll continue. Okay, let's wrap up.
Intermediate class are you starting?
Come again? Yes, I've started the intermediate. It is started
Okay.
on Sunday.
Okay.
I'll see you
Okay.
guys. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Have a
Bye.
great
Good
night.
night. Good night. You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.